know, I'm trying to identify anybody I can. You know, it's everywhere you step is a grave. Like, these are the ones that's visible. A lot of them we done dug up and uncovered, but that entire field is perfect rows of graves.
It is.
Cemetery is St. James Pallbearers #1. This cemetery was established by a group of men that were deacons in a church, St. James Baptist Church, and they were a group of men and they were deacons in the church, and they bought this particular property right here, the small side, in 1920.
Okay. Okay, and can you tell us the history on this part of the cemetery here?
Well, this part of the cemetery, from this paved street, this massive field out here, it don't exist. Official on record, it don't exist. What we have discovered is that a white man by the name of William Johnson, they called him Pioneer Johnson, but he had a massive slave plantation that ran along the Ocapilco Creek. And that's the Ocapilco Creek right there. You can't see it due to the houses, but it's over there though. But he had a massive slave plantation that ran along the Ocapilco Creek. So in the early 1800s, you know, when slaves passed away or died, they started burying them out here in this field. And as over time, this field got filled up, and you know, other African Americans just went to burying their loved ones out here in this field also. And that's how this whole cemetery came about. And then in 1920, the St. James pallbearers wanted to give it a name, so they bought this particular area up here. They called it St. James.
Okay. Now you yesterday were talking about lynchings and what was on record and what wasn't on record.
Yes, when you come across stuff like this, you know, from the start, I felt that it was a problem that we couldn't find no public records of nobody out here whatsoever. You know, we pulled archives up, and it's like, you know, this place never existed. A lot of the massive headstones out here, you know, 5, 6 people couldn't lift them together. But a lot of them are lying face down, so we know that come from vandalism. A lot of them broke, you know, like from the 1920s, 30s, they completely bust in half. So we know a tractor had to do it. So what I came to understand doing my research, I only found a couple of people that they say were lynched in Colquitt County that's on our archives. But if you pull up any humanitarian archives, any federal government, you know, they had a lynching every month in Colquitt County. A few of the names I placed with names out here. And another thing that got me was a lot of the graves are bare. You know, it's just brick or either concrete. So you get a bad feeling. You know, the spirit always speaks to you, like especially a troubled spirit that's not resting. And you get a bad feeling, and you see that somebody went to a great length of trouble to make this cemetery just disappear. I mean, all these was woods. You couldn't see that apartment building. You couldn't see none of those houses, that street. It was just woods. Even this field. The grass out here was this tall.
Wow.
You know, but now that we done got it cleaned up and in the process of trying to make it look decent, you know, certain areas you get a real bad feeling, and you know that it's people out here that were victims of lynching.
Right. Now, are you guys still trying to uncover some of the graves?
I'm trying to uncover anything I can. You know, I'm trying to identify anybody I can. You know, it's everywhere you step is a grave. Like, these are the ones that's visible. A lot of them we done dug up and uncovered, but that entire field is perfect rows of graves.
It is.
You know, exactly.
You can tell.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell.
Yeah. You can tell where something done sunk in, or either was like a hill, and if you start digging, you'll dig them up. That's how we dug up a lot of them.
Now, what made you make all these white crosses?
All of the graves that have white crosses, those are the ones that we can't identify because the name faded away, or the ones that never ever had a name, or the ones that you can visibly see where the person was born in slavery. So those what the white crosses are for.
Okay. All right, and you say you have more crosses to make?
Oh, I mean, we already at about probably 150 now. But just me going through it and making them and just seeing what I see, it'll end up being around 1,200 easy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, those are just the visible, you know, 1,200 easy. And it's, you know, every day you out here, you uncover something. If you see that grave right there, I was digging out a spot to put a bench at, because I'm going to have park benches out there to make it nice. And I dug up that grave, digging out the bench.
Oh.
That was about 3 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
Going up there on the end, I dug up a grave.
Oh my gosh.
So like everywhere, I mean, and you can tell like when you're walking, you can feel like sponginess, and then you can feel like something hard. Sponginess, hard. So you know that there's got to be graves there.
Everywhere. Exactly.
And you can definitely feel the sadness when you're walking through here.
The few people that come out, you know, that's the, you know, people that come out checking on the progress. Like, that's the first thing they say is, you know, something bad. Like this ain't a normal cemetery. This is like something real bad, like horrible bad.
Right.
You already know, we know what that is.
Right.
Wow.
We already know what it is.
Wow.
And you're having the mayor come out here next weekend?
It's February the 2nd. A lot of people gonna be out here.
Yeah.
Firefighters, police officers, the mayor, churches, people from the community. It's gonna be a history program, and we're going to dedicate the entire cemetery to history. We're gonna preserve it. It'll be open. People can come out here and visit whenever, but nobody else will be able to be buried out here. Though that's open. Like you won't even be able to drive a car in here. We're just gonna have it so you can walk in and sit down or visit from sun up to sunset every day.
If you want to come and visit some of the...
trying to make it like a historical thing where people can actually see, old graves that date back to the 1800s.
Right, and that's really good that the mayor is actually recognizing this as a piece of history. Wow.
Because what you have to, another thing you have to look at, like the city council people, the mayor, like this thing is so old to what, like even they don't, like they didn't know this, like they shocked, like what in the world, like, and like how could this happen, like people shocked. I done had a couple members of the city council come out here. One of them, Reverend Ponder, he's a member of the city council. He's also a pastor of a church. And like, his mouth fell open. Like they didn't even know that these woods were actually great, like full of people. Like they thought it was just a wooded area.
Wow.
Police officers, they thought this was just a wood. One police officer told me, he said, somebody broke into something over there. And he was chasing them and they ran through here. And he thought he was just chasing somebody through the woods.
Oh,
like he never knew this was a cemetery, a massive cemetery. Like, but now that the wood's gone, you can see, people can see now.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you think that the houses that are over here on the side are...
Yeah, I know they are.
Built on top of
I know
graves.
for a fact they are. One of the property owner actually came out and spoke with me. And he gave me a little history on the property over there. The church could no longer afford to pay the taxes. And so the property was taken from them, and they came in and packed dirt in there, and they sold that whole strip as commercial property. But those are all graves going all the way to Ocapilco Creek, even that road.
So how far is the creek from here?
Just on the other side of that tree line.
So even the road that we see people driving on has graves underneath it.
So the road has graves underneath it.
A lot of, all the way to the creek, like across on the other side of the road. That's the Ocapilco Creek.
So it was a plantation.
Yes, it was a plantation. Okay. This cemetery ran all the way to the edge of that creek.
Wow. So when people died or got hung or however they died,
just buried them out here.
They just brung them out here, dug a hole.
Yeah, and this is the original black cemetery in Moultrie, Georgia. Like this is it. This is the oldest, the first one in the oldest.
When do you think this was established right here?
1920.
No, the
older part.
The old part. That was hidden with the woods.
I would say about probably 1810, 1820, like old.
Okay. Okay.
Real old.
Okay. And did you know the name of the person that owned the plantation, or?
William Johnson.
William Johnson. Okay. I did hear the name William come up quite a few times today on my spirit.
And then I seen one archive where in 1860 he reported to the federal government that he owned 120 slaves. But I also discovered another archive from the federal government that showed in 1861 this entire county was a massive slave plantation.
Oh.
So you see where he lied,
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to understand.
So he was probably one of the biggest slave owners here.
Yeah, exactly. He was the biggest slave owner, and for, like during those times, 1860, those days like leading up to the Civil War, I think the government in Washington was putting a lot of pressure on slave states. And one of those pressures, I know they increased the taxes on it. If you own a slave, you're gonna pay double taxes. So of course a slave owner gonna
He gonna lie about how many he's got.
You know, keep them paying a higher tax. Of course, oh, I ain't got, but you know, they ain't gonna say, okay, I got.
They're gonna lie. They're gonna hide them.
Yeah, they gonna try to do whatever to keep from paying that extra tax.
Wow. Wow.
So I think
the history here is just amazing.
It is.
It's unbelievable.
And we thank you and appreciate you for everything that you've done and are doing.
Definitely, we do thank you. It's
all
totally
you can do
amazing.
is try.
Yep.
You can feel it speaking, like you know, it's like something telling you, like, regardless of what happened, you know, can't none of us change history. You know, you can't be mad at nobody, you can't change history.
That's right.
But in this day and time, I feel that, you know, one of my journeys in life is to, you know, make it look good out here, make it pretty, you know, make it so people can come visit. And I think that'll be enough, you know. I think that'll be good within itself for these people that's buried out here.
Right.
Amen.
Right. Well, I definitely thank you for everything you've done here and letting us know of the history of the place. Taking your time out to come and tell us a little bit about the history.
Yes, ma'am.